welcome once again to Clinical Theurgy, episode 62. It's a lot of episodes.
7 away from the good number.
Yep, and 8 away from the number 1 spot. Thank you so much, John. That is a lot of ground to cover. One day we need a total recap, but that day is not today. Today it would just be nice to know what shenanigans you got into last week.
Well, last week we didn't get into any shenanigans.
Well, last session. On our last episode of Not Dragon Ball Z.
So, last time, Antaeus was dealing with his business. He had an opportunity for some human trials. Goron dealt with building his church. Ivy was doing more research on, like, her tasks, on, like, the Wassair stuff. Niev had a cold iron cage commission because she wants to try and shift into the stabby fae and figures that might be a safer way to do it. The ministry was only too happy to do that, considering that they're interested in it for keeping, fae prisoner type thing. Goron also was dealing with a quandary about whether he should come with us anymore. And he communed with Kraskaran, and Kraskaran was basically said that if he dies, he can just return. He doesn't need Kraskaran's permission, and that he was basically his own opponent, and that he has to use his best judgment. Antaeus uses one of his abilities, and he went to the astral plane. He had a lot of adventures. He met a steward and got a map for 3 of his hairs. He also visited the ministry, which is on the astral plane. It's like the astral plane ministry of magic or whatever. He found a glowing orb, and he had a discussion with Thoth and the mistress. And he was researching things there, but it was like his perception of time was different because he was on the astral plane. Meanwhile, Niev's cage was ready, and she was inviting the group for dinner, but Antaeus didn't show up, and she got worried. Ivy went to Zigmar's, and they were able to basically break into his house and found out that he was astral projecting, so we all went over there. And Zigmar's used a belt to get him out of the experience. And then Antaeus tried to get Goron to take this item he found from his book, and Goron's like, hell no. And we were debating Thoth's motives. We're going to go to Niev's place for food, conversation, and cage time.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Food, conversation, and cage time. This sounds like a really interesting evening.
It sounds like Brianna should be in this session, not Niev.
It does.
I would pay for some cage time with Brianna. Wait, what?
Wait, what?
What?
Oh,
What?
fudge. What?
I mean my characters. My characters.
What?
Alright, so you can all head on over to Niev's. See the lovely cage that she's had built for herself. Soon she'll be the animal in this cage that she built. And then she'll really be alone. But in the meantime, there are things I believe you all need to discuss before all this happens. And there is food to be consumed.
So, guys, you may be wondering about this cage.
A little bit.
You get a little freakier than I thought you were.
Well, in a manner of speaking, I want to try shifting into the stabby one, but I had this cage built out of cold iron, which, as you may know, is something that Fae do not like. So I was thinking of putting myself in there before I shifted to the stabby one, so that I wouldn't hurt anybody.
Are you not worried that this creature could teleport out and not care about being in a
Or-
cage of...
Do other things than stab? I don't know. Do we know if the stabby version of you can cast spells?
Why do you even want to do this? I thought we agreed this was a very bad idea.
Well, I went back to the Empire to ask about Ivy's situation, and they basically indicated that I could get more information if I shifted into the stabby one.
Hmm. Well, it's your decision.
I know it's a risk, but you know, I figure any little bit that can help us.
Well, like I told you, I had a vision of you, or not you, but that form trying to kill me, so maybe I shouldn't be here when you do this. I don't know.
You have that thing that makes it to where people can't hit you without doing something, right? Like, makes you hard to hit?
I have many things that do that, but I think you're referring to the one that tests their one's willpower to hit me.
Yeah.
It's a fairly weak spell at this point. A fairly strong creature could overcome it easily.
Let's see. I was trying to remember if this thing has... it is... oh, the buckle.
Yeah, it does not have any spell casting. You do know inherently it does not have any spell casting, except for the ability to like do a sort of rudimentary charm on people that's fairly easy for people to overcome. The biggest complication that can happen is a little bit different than the way the physical monster is. This is actually a third-party creature that I've modified a bit. As opposed to it being the angered or intoxicated, it is when the subject is allowed to overindulge in human delights in general. And these can be like a wide variety of things, not just like being intoxicated, but being driven into a deep conversation, having a strong experience of some of the more human emotions, having a more human relationship, like emotional or physical relationship. These things will like sort of overtake the character, overtake that fae, and sort of bring out the worst in all of it. So more so than just going into a rage, there's something that you're kind of tied to wanting, and that brings out like a specific personality of this. But you also know there is something sort of broken about that personality. But you're, again, not sure what, because you haven't really been able to sort of tap into the source.
Right. So I will explain that to Goron. Again, that's partly why I have the cage, is to keep me from hurting anybody.
When she was in the other form, did it ever? I guess I didn't try, but did we have evidence that it had access to Niev spells, or no? We didn't really see that.
Not that you're aware of, but you didn't really see it, so
true.
You don't know if it's like because it doesn't know that she has spells, or because it doesn't have spells, or maybe is unable to cast them.
Well, I'm not going to stop you from doing what you need to do. I just don't know if it's best if I'm there. It might anger the creature to try and get at me or something. But I don't know. It's up to you if you want me there. I'll still be close by regardless, but I don't know if you want me like in the room while you're doing this.
I don't want you to do anything you're not comfortable with, Goron. I know that you have a lot that you're trying to do, and you know...
I don't fear this creature. I'll stay in the room. I just don't know if you want me to agitate it or something.
Well, that we might end up learning more information about it.
Fine with me.
All right. Do we want to do this now, or do we want to wait until after dinner?
Jesus, let's eat first. I mean,
Alright, you can all enjoy your meal. And then who is locking Niev in the cage?
I feel like that should be in Teus' job. I don't know why, but I feel like he's been the experimenter.
I was checking to see my disable device, but I don't have any.
Well, I have -3 if that's what we need, so...
Nope, somebody just needs to be handed the key. I need to basically know who has the key.
I'll take the key, whatever.
Okay.
Alright. And then Niev, what spell are you using?
I'm just gonna sit in the corner and just be like...
I am going to get into the cage,
Mhm.
obviously, and have Ivy lock me in, and then I'm going to cast Waveform 3.
Wrong one. Damn it. I need to find a better way to name these. I have this problem every time. Oh, actually, it's not in here yet. I think it's here. Here. There it is. Niev, you cast the spell, and you feel a rush of jealousy. Humanoids get a very special experience that you deserve the right to have. Why can't you have it? Such a short life that gets to end one day. So many various emotions, feelings, exciting things they get to partake in with each other, with others. The passion they feel, the intensity they feel, all in such a very brief time. Your kind can experience some of these things, but not quite like they can. Always sort of loud but muted. Sort of, for you, it's always kind of got to have a whimsy to it. It's always amplified but not intense. Like a very loud neutral tone. These people, they don't know what they have. They don't care about what they have. They don't get to experience it for long enough. But if you could just have it, you'd show them what it truly means to be like them. You'd show them what living life out as one of their kind would be like. Being adventurous. Being brave. Taking the chances. Proving that you're better than they could ever imagine being. Even if it meant there is no coming back at the end. Channel that. A hostile, jealous, emotional creature that wants nothing more than to be what it is that she looks upon as this feeling overtakes you and a knife coalesces into your hand. A dwarf, an elf, and a human One sits before you, two stand around you.
What is this?
You can feel a little bit of pain as like the cold iron feeling emanates from the bars and from the floor that you stand on. It causes like little pin pricks upon you, and the pain intensifies if you get closer to the bars.
Why do you have me in a cage?
Well, do you have a name? What do we call you by? My name is Antaeus.
Don't give them the pleasure. They don't deserve a name. Perhaps
No,
lie.
okay.
They like lying.
Well, you did that yourself.
Wouldn't do this to myself.
Well, not you currently, you wouldn't, but
All this long life and you speak in riddles. You don't know how good you have it.
what do you mean?
I mean, you get to be you, don't you?
That depends on your definition of, get to be you, I suppose.
Sometimes being Fae feels kind of like a disease. Like one you wish you could cure from yourself. There's always this, almost like a chain on you. You have to be what you are, inescapable, unattainable, the freedom that comes with not being tied to this existence.
Go ahead.
I mean, you don't have the same restraints as I do.
So this knife that manifested in it's hers, their hand, that's something that we all see, correct?
Yes, it is sort of made out of a kind of like darkness, as if she manifested a knife out of her own shadow.
Yes, well, I'll point to the knife, probably because of things like that.
So curious. I almost want to touch it with my sword.
I was meditating for a bit, but I think I got most of it. And yeah, you deserve to be in that cage, you filthy creature. You tried to kill me once.
Let me out, I'll do it again.
You start to recognize aspects of him similar to his father. His father bled well.
You do look familiar.
Oh, if you wanted my friend's body, I'd deal with you, don't you worry.
Do you bleed as well as your father?
Nia, have you in there anywhere? Last time there was a little bit of you still in there. Any you in there, Niev? Or
I
we
cast
get
True
full
Seeing.
stabby?
Yeah, you see this creature. You see Niev through this creature. As it looks right now, since Niev, when she takes on Fae form, takes on more of this creature's appearance, she is almost actually less attractive in many ways than Niev naturally looks. But she has like very long, flowing, deep red hair. Hair that looks almost like a dark, like a dark crimson wine, kind of flowing from her head. very intensely bright green emerald eyes. She has on these kind of long, flowy, loosely fitted set of robes that kind of wave back and forth even without a breeze. And she stands a little bit shorter than Niev used to stand. But as Gulran, you cast True Seeing, you can see that Niev is still in there. You see Niev as Niev is. And you can see that that dagger is really there.
Hmm. Yeah, I still see her in there, so I won't burn you to a pulp, you despicable demon creature. Luckily for you.
Yeah, you would like that, wouldn't you?
I would.
I would also like that.
You would like to be burned to a crisp and die?
No, I'd like to be let out of this cage so that I could make you bleed while you tried to cast your silly spell.
Well, luckily in this edition you couldn't get at me in time, but...
Addition. What are you talking about?
Never mind.
That's
I don't
what
have any
he
offensive
thinks.
spell.
He makes assumptions to your power. What a fool, just like his father was. Assuming that just because you come from the trees, you must only be of the trees, like the trees, for the trees.
Your
How do you know
father.
my father? Who's my father?
He doesn't deserve that.
Well, yes, you do keep making a lot of claims about his father.
Yeah,
I mean, it's probably just some sort of like
he's probably
joke.
lying. A joke, maybe.
You know, like those jokes that people say, you know, about your mother, things like that, where they don't
I
necessarily
haven't heard
know
one.
the person.
Give me one, Antaeus. I don't know what you're talking about.
They don't know the person, but they make hyperbolic claims about.
Like what?
Yes.
What?
Your mother also bled. I enjoyed stabbing your mother.
Oh, I thought you meant something else.
Can we get on to the questions of why she did this in the first place?
Why did she
Hey.
even do this in the first place?
Hey, stabby one. You know anything about two twins born in your realm and something about a deal?
Ah, yes. The one you cut loose.
Do I recognize Ivy?
You don't recognize Ivy. Like, when you would have seen them the first time, they were small children. Very, very small children. But you know what she's talking about when she mentions the twins because you remember them being left behind. And you remember that day that you got your next life. That day that you cut the boy loose. You've been looking for a way to get your freedom back. A way to get out of this infernal self you put yourself in, and you were pretty sure you were close. So close to the life you wanted. If you could just get them to finally do you in, to assume you were some kind of mistake, you could get there. You could be where you wanted to be. So you cut loose the boy.
Oh, yes. Boy. I did cut loose that boy.
We'll have none of your lies. Cast Zone of Truth.
Yeah, you cast Zone of Truth. You can give me a will save as with Niev's saves if you'd like.
Alright.
Yeah, you fail.
Tell the truth. After that, I want to know about my parents if you've been lying about that.
I have been telling nothing but the truth this entire time.
You didn't get to kill them, unfortunately. You did get to participate, but it wasn't your job to kill. It was your job to remind them that they were supposed to agree, that they were supposed to participate when things changed. chose to flee, try to hide away their son.
Yes, the boy that I cut loose. I will admit, I cut him loose for my own reasons. He was supposed to stay, and by cutting him loose, I was able to go.
Why was he supposed to stay?
He was safer there.
He was safer there.
He was safer, or the world was safer with him there?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you know anything else about him or the twins in general?
He's probably more powerful than she is. He got to tap into something a little extra before he left. A little bit of the deep energy of the place. It seemed to call to him. It seemed to kind of like naturally want to be a part of who he was. As if he and the nature of what was taking over were one and the same.
He's probably stronger than you. He was able to tap into the things that reside in the Empire.
Lovely. Do you know if he has a weakness or if the Fae still want him back?
They don't care about him anymore. He's a lost cause. They made a deal with somebody that's not even around anymore. They don't owe anything to anybody. As far as a weakness, if she wants that, she needs to pay up.
Yes. The Fae aren't interested in him anymore. They made a deal with someone who isn't even around anymore. But if you want a weakness, well, you need to pay up.
And what would paying for you be? What do you even want?
Everything.
Unfortunately, I'm going to need something a little bit more substantial that I can actually potentially give you. Everything is very vague, and I'm not the brightest. I need very direct answers of
Smash
tangible
my
things.
Warhammer.
When was the last time you saw him?
I'll give you that for free.
Or her, for that matter.
I don't have a concept of time.
No. Especially not having been dead for who knows how many years.
Well, I guess... What was the... For the children? Adults?
They were children the last time I saw them.
Mm-hmm.
What is your name, creature?
You would like to know that, wouldn't you?
I would like to know that.
I would take a substantial.
What?
What?
You actually do know that term.
Excuse me, what? What did you say?
I said I would take a substantial in exchange for the information.
A what?
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 You'll have to explain it to them as a person of value beyond normal means. Or however you want to put that.
I'll explain it later. Why? Do you know what that is?
Why indeed?
The Fae, some time ago, in order to keep their realms secret, made dealings with Thoth in the production of the country. The idea that there are heroes of substantiality has been a long and deeply entwined idea in Feyan society, to a point that it's said that there are even Feyan heroes, and there are Feyan heroes on record, but Feyan heroes never quite live up to the same gravitas that the non-Feyan heroes do. You can portray that how you want. I know that's a bit, and paraphrasing is probably easier than parroting in that case.
They're people that are a little bit more than your regular people. A lot of
You're asking for a person.
yes.
I can't give you a person.
But you'd be giving
How are
her
you
a
able-
person.
How
But I
are you
would
able to
be giving-
determine? Oh, I'm sorry.
When
You're asking
hold on,
for-
whenever he interrupts you, by the way, it is like a stinging pain. Something that you as a human wish you could do, because like politeness is a big part of like sort of the, not necessarily politeness, but this weird kind of like interplay is kind of woven into the fabric of how you speak from time to time. And so it's like kind of being punctured with a dart every time like he interrupts, because your brain has to kind of stop and see if you can play off the words that he's saying instead of being allowed to just freely continue with what you want to say.
I imagine I grip the dagger a little bit whenever.
Step back a little bit.
How do we determine substantials?
Yes, you say that as if you're able to tell who is substantial simply by looking at them.
Heroism is usually an indicator. True heroism.
True heroism often shows itself. It's a good indication.
Again, I can't give you a person. Is there anything else I can offer you?
You're asking for a person.
I'm asking for knowledge.
About
That's
a
it.
person.
Yeah.
In order
And
to
in turn,
what
I
a
could give
person?
you knowledge of a person.
And what would you do with this knowledge?
I mean, I would try to take care of this person in the way that I need to take care of them. But just because I have the knowledge does not mean I will inherently be successful. What if I fail and what if I die? Then it's like, you've just gotten a person for free, right?
How does she have very little confidence in herself? How strange for a human.
Why do you even want this knowledge if you don't think you can do it?
Well, you already told me he's more powerful than me, so there's that great confidence booster to go off of. I don't know. I just know I'm supposed to do this, and I will keep trying to do it until either I'm dead or the curse is broken.
Or both.
Both.
Very
Perhaps if you
highly
died,
likely.
it would break the curse. I can
So
help.
Maybe.
What happened to the girl?
The girl was free to go.
That's it? And that's
You
the
can
last you saw
you
of her?
can gesture to her. She's right there.
She's right there. You know what happened to the girl. She's right there. It was the
So
boy
she-
that we kept.
So she's always been this way then.
Not confident in herself.
No, not that. Her appearance.
Wrong to my appearance.
She was a child the last time I saw her.
Not the curse. Can you give me that?
What about this curse?
You don't know anything about the curse. The curse isn't something you keep records on. You weren't the Empire's record keeper.
Do I look like a record keeper?
About my brother, you know about me. I don't know if it's something you would know about.
I don't know anything about a curse.
You know your own name finally, so we have something to call you by?
You can call me. You can
Stabby
call me.
McStabbykins?
You don't need to think about your name, just tell me your name. Or are you scared if I know your name?
You know right now that if you tried to say your name, a different name, it would not come out.
Can I make a will save against it or no?
I think it's once you fail. I'm double checking.
I wasn't sure if I could, if I wanted to actively lie.
No, you cannot. Once you failed, you
Okay.
failed.
Names are unimportant.
They are very important. So I tell you from any other tree-licking lover.
You seem to have a nickname for me already.
I know, I don't want a nickname. I want your real name. Or are you scared of my warhammer?
Scared of your warhammer?
You sound like it. Why don't you tell me your name then, brave one?
And yet they have to keep you in a cage.
You have to keep me in a cage because you're afraid of me.
That was to keep you safe from us. You misunderstand the situation.
You misunderstand your situation.
Tell me your damn name, you coward.
What is his situation? You seem to know both of them, or at least tangentially.
I mean, I did free her brother so that I could be free myself.
And him? You knew his parents?
Knew's a weird word. Like, you met them, but that's not really knowing someone.
I met them. I witnessed their punishment for trying to run away like cowards.
Run away.
Tried to hide their son. They were supposed to stay.
Thank God they did what they did. They hate to have grown up next to creatures like you.
Your son's supposed to say. I'm sorry, I don't follow.
You realize that the elven man, with his high intellect, has created an incongruity. He perhaps was asking about her brother, not about Gul'ran, but created enough incontinuity to separate the two. In essence, Antaeus was asking about how you knew the brother, so you must know the parents, was basically Antaeus's question. But you took it to mean you knew Gul'ran's parents. But in both cases, it was really just meeting them.
Well, they made mention of like killing or his parents bleeding, so I assumed they had at least met them before.
So she met Gul'ran's parents, as in met.
With the knife. I met.
But they would, for her to know that they were Gul'ran's parents. Means that
somebody told her that they were the parents of some dwarven child, and that he bears similarity to the people that she stuck her knife in over and over and over again.
So he looks familiar enough.
That's what she said. She said he looks familiar. He looks like some people that she killed, or that not killed, but participated in the killing of.
Punishment.
For leaving, you said, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I got a question for you, Stabby. Can I call you Stabby since you don't want to give us your real name? It's just easier to call you something.
Sure.
Alright.
Go for it.
So, I know this might... Not gonna even say that, you're probably much smarter than me. Our friend, Niev, did a spell, which is why you're here right now. So what happens if I even said yes to your deal? Gave you a substantial, as you call it, for information. I'm under the assumption this spell is eventually gonna end and my friend comes back. What happens to this person in our deal then, if I were to agree?
Dead. Death is death.
Death is death.
Okay, you want a person to kill. I just thought you wanted a person. Jesus.
I want to stab someone.
Which is why I've named you Stabby. What if I just let you stab me once? Does that buy me any info?
So wait, you're a dead creature?
You're not dead, but you are dead. You're here, but you're Niev now, apparently, whoever this Niev person is.
I'm not dead. I am here.
I mean, when you're not here, are you dead?
I am always here.
Ha! Good. I'll get my god to call you forward, and I'll torture you for eternity. How you like that,
You're
Stabby?
amusing.
Hold on, ever the diplomat.
You won't find me so amusing when I'm calling you every 2 seconds.
I let you stab me. Does that warrant any?
Don't let her stab you!
She's already stabbed me once before. She turned into Miss Stabby and stabbed me once.
That wasn't
It isn't-
really you.
It was intriguing. It's an intriguing offer to stab you. I think that might be worth some information.
How do you propose you would let her stab you, Ivy?
Just get close enough to the cage that she can stab. Well, can you stab through it? Is that too painful for you?
Certainly not comfortable.
But is it not comfortable you don't want to do, or a not comfortable you actually are kind of enjoying for some weird reason? Because that seems like something you might kind of enjoy, because you're kind of a little, different. Not in a bad way, no judgment, just trying to figure out where we stand.
I'm judging you.
If it gets you what you want, it's the same thing, right?
If it gets me what I want, isn't it the same thing?
Okay, we're agreeing. One stab for some information.
You.
Are you even
Very
quantifying
close.
what some is? Shouldn't you set that out before you let her stab you?
That's awfully
One
close to the cage.
stab for knowledge of my brother's weaknesses.
Closer, little human.
Plus my little human?
Closer.
Come closer, little human.
Oh. I thought you said. Yeah, I'll
Well,
come,
did
like-
she agree yet? Hold on.
Yes, I agree. Information for the stabby.
Oh, God.
Alright, I'll come close enough to the cage where with her arm length she could reach out and stab me, but not like any closer than that.
So you look her over, thinking about the best place to stab her. You spend a bit
Do
of
I need to
time
do a twirl for you? Do you wanna,
focusing. And as she makes that snide comment, you reach out. And you're willing to take the stab, yes?
Yeah?
Okay. I need you to roll me. Hold on
Okay.
1 sec. Didn't actually think this was going to happen.
Stabs your left tit.
What?
titty stab.
I mean, if she can do more than 125 points of damage in one stab, then, like, she fucking deserves to kill me.
Roll me... Does Niev have a positive strength or a negative strength?
She's got a 0 modifier.
Okay. So roll me 1d4 plus 7d6.
Jesus.
And then, Ivy, afterwards, we're gonna need a fort save from you.
Oh, fun.
Save or die. Save or die.
DC is really high.
Oh. Jesus. Okay. Well.
Ooh. Here, let me make sure.
Woof. Woof, woof.
Bork, bork.
Mateus, is that your shadow thing, Mastiff?
So,
Yes.
we're going to rule this a little bit interesting because of the nature of this, but that is a really good save, but that was some really good damage. Niev like spins the dagger around in her fingers, thinking about where to stab, and as soon as you're like, do you want me to do a little twirl? And the dagger penetrates straight through the center of your neck. And Ivy collapses on the ground.
I rush to her and give her CPR.
Yes.
Don't die!
You rush over and hit her with the Breath of Life spell. One sec.
Don't you fucking die on me.
And she does not get back up.
Oh, God, what have you done to her? I still have True Seeing on. Do I see her, or I guess can I just heal check her, see what the hell's going on in combination with
Yeah, give me a heal check.
True Seeing, maybe? I don't know. That helps. Heal check. Ooh, natural 20.
Yeah, at the moment, she is essentially on the edge of dying. She is suffocating. Her body basically has sustained such an injury that it is trying not to go into total shock. And if she hits total shock, she will die. With that round of action, I will need another fortitude save from Ivy. Okay. She continues to gasp for air, but the sounds start to become lessened. Antaeus, hold on. Antaeus, what do you want to do?
Is there an applicable knowledge to try to figure out what would be the best way to prevent her from, like, if this were like a regular, like, a wound, because I'm assuming that this is like her throat's closing up or something to
this is nature. You just took a dagger straight through the throat, and it basically all but penetrated through your spinal cord. You feel like, given anyone other than Ivy, they would probably be 100% dead. But right now they are. So seeing the breath, give me a knowledge Arcana
or like
check here.
Yeah, I was gonna say Arcana or like a spellcraft or something, perhaps.
Okay. So with your knowledge arcana, to explain this, Ivy is subject right now to a death effect. Breath of Life cannot bring things back from death. Ivy is basically teetering on the brink of death. Very specifically, the creature slain by death effects cannot be saved by Breath of Life. I am ruling this because technically by Raw, Ivy knows that an attack is coming for her, but also she's willing to accept the attack as the attack is, which
So they take a
creates like
targeted
it creates this kind of like in between area. So right now you figure that there's probably some way to maybe heal her, but that's a whole different story. Is there
I'll kind of
Mend object.
summarize that to let him let him
actually,
know it's a death effect.
that's a good point. Actually, Niev hit the nail on the head rather than having me hint at it, and I guess I can give that to you with your knowledge arcana. A mend object spell, on the other hand, worked before. It allowed the other part of her to heal her.
Okay, I'll mention that it's a death effect, hence he could try the mend object spell. I'll try to mention that as quickly as I can. I don't really have anything else I can do much about this. I'll make sure. Actually, her blade. I'm assuming it fell to the floor.
Her blade kind of absorbed into the throat of Ivy.
Oh, the Ivy's blade.
Ivy's blade falls to the floor, yeah.
Away from the cage, I'm assuming.
Yes.
I mean, I
Good,
wouldn't
okay.
have my blade out. It'd just be sheathed. I
Okay.
didn't have it out for any reason.
Okay, I just want to make sure that that's
Um,
not near the cage, because I don't want this thing getting any ideas.
Niev, in this form, you are kind of thrown back, obviously stunned by this effect, but also in a pure state of ecstasy, and you can feel part of your blood starting to boil with excitement, as you can feel the sensation starting to overtake you. Ghoul run.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have that spell prepared today, but I got the biggest guns that Krazkron can offer me, and I'll cast Heal. I don't have Make Whole prepared.
Yeah,
today.
you hold on a sec. Make whole is the alternative spell, though, right?
You mean Domain spell? No, it's not.
No, it's the same. Oh no, that's level 2. There's one. It's greater make whole. That's about the same level. You cast heal. Give me a knowledge religion check as you cast heal.
Sure. Knowledge religion.
Okay. You cast heal, but the magic comes out in a different way. Can you roll me 10d6 plus 10? Or, yeah, plus 10, because 10 is the maximum.
10d6 plus 10. 47.
Yeah, you feel the magic come out as if you were casting Make Whole. The shadows sort of bloom out of the hole in Ivy's neck, sealing it up. Her eyes turn a bit of an ichor color, and her skin sort of takes on a almost darkened, translucent hue. But Ivy, you are saved from death and at 47 shadow hit points.
If there's blood, I'm rubbing the blood on myself.
Yeah, you kind of reach your hands out as soon as you can get awareness and start rubbing it all over yourself. But you do owe her a weakness. You can tell her all about the weaknesses you know. They're stupid people. They'll fall for anything.
but is the zone of... I have to be truthful,
That
though, right?
is the truth. That is the
Oh.
weakness. You knew that part of why you were able to get lured over to him, part of why you knew you could convince him to run instead of stay when there was so much power there for him. You could tell him whatever story you needed to tell him, and you were just the right person to be able to convince him that that was the story to hear, and the place to go was anywhere but here.
I suppose since she lived that I have to tell you a weakness. His weakness is he's stupid. He'll believe anything you tell him.
I think we've been ripped off.
You think?
Well, I told you. I don't know, I'm making deals with a cowardly, stabby fey creature.
I don't think her stab would kill me. I thought it maybe her. I'd bleed a little
You're
bit.
literally calling her a stabby. You think maybe she's good at it?
I mean, I didn't think one stab would equate death. I didn't think it was that good.
That dagger you said fused kind of into.
It
Ivy?
like faded into her.
Stabby have a new dagger?
No.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going too.
Do we have to get that out of you?
I don't fucking know.
You feel fine. The dagger feels right at home.
I'm just gonna, as Antaeus, you can keep talking. I'm just gonna like check her out, like give her like the doctors like say and like check her throat and stuff.
Good, you're as concerned about this as I am.
She seems fine overall.
Yeah.
Just a little different, but a little different magic was used to keep her from dying.
Actually, are there any visible like the areas that were healed with the mending? Is it still?
Yeah, it's
look
like
the same way?
a dark black hole that kind of covers over where the wound was. And there's like lines going up her veins that have been darkened a much like darker color, almost purplish in color.
Oh, so those are like presumably permanent until that's healed up or something. That's not something that was an effect of the spell and just disappeared.
Probably.
Oh, that's. Well, they look like they're still there now. I'm assuming, right?
And they're not fading at all.
We might want to keep an eye on that as well.
Stabby, any insight here? What the hell you did to her with your dagger?
I stabbed her.
Yeah, but where is her dagger now? Is it a magic dagger?
If anything, it annoys you a little bit that she's still alive. That was a clean stab. She should be dead. There's no reason she shouldn't be dead.
Yeah. I mean, she should be dead. She's not dead.
Sorry to disappoint you.
Seems
Yeah,
fair.
we've already all been there.
She disappointed you. You disappointed her. Isn't that a fair exchange?
That seems fair to me. Disappointment for disappointment.
You're lucky you're already dead or I'll kill you.
Can we bring Niev back?
Yeah, I had enough of you.
But you don't want to know more about your parents? How they bled? How they pled?
Does Niev want to come back?
I mean, Niev didn't want to hurt anybody in the first place. That was the point of the cage. So I would say at the point that the stabbing happened and Ivy almost died, she would be trying to get control.
So give me a will save then.
Okay.
From Niev.
Any minute now. I clicked it, I swear.
Yeah, you are still this creature right now.
Niev's not here right now. She can take a message and get back with you, though.
How can we bring her back? Maybe I should toss a lightning bolt at you. Will that bring Niev back?
You act like you don't like me. I've been nothing but helpful to you. Telling you about the substantials, telling you about your brother, your parents.
You didn't really mention much about his parents. Or her parents.
I know Gulron's parents. In as much as meeting someone, you can know them.
So you don't know them at all.
They were cowards.
You're
They
a
tried to
coward.
run. They tried to
You
run.
know
They should have.
nothing.
They should have submitted to the Empire.
You should submit to my warhammer.
You feel something starting to pull at you, like it's trying to rip you away. You feel like the magic might be fading.
Seems I don't have long.
Yeah,
Thank
because you're
God.
weak. You
Yeah,
can't stay if, even if you
get out of
wanted.
the cage.
You're
You
weak.
talk a big game for someone who's not in the cage with me.
Oh, next time if you don't talk through one of my friends, I'll have no problem dispatching you myself.
Eh,
I'll start preparing this in case she starts getting too mouthy.
You feel this form leave you, and Niev retakes the body. Blood on your face, the blood of Ivy all over your face and fingers.
Ivy, are you okay?
I'm not really sure.
You feel
I'm
fine.
alive, I guess.
You're in the zone of truth. Do you like that blood on you? Don't lie.
No.
Okay, good.
Why would I want?
I was
Why
just
would I
making
want
sure
Ivy's
you were.
blood on?
Just making sure you're who you say you were.
Guess I won't use this. Unless Ivy. Never mind.
Guess
Did you
at
need
least
part
no
of
one
that
died.
creature to turn into it? Or
Yes.
Do you still have it?
Have some.
Excellent. I can use that to torture it later.
Are we positive it's her? Can I let her out?
Yes.
Push the cages.
I'm gonna
Or
let
the
her out of
cage,
the
rather.
cage.
Yeah. You can let her out of the cage, and then she starts stabbing all of you.
Does anyone have prestidigitation? Anyone?
I do
No.
not have.
Just wash
Actually,
it off
yes,
like
I
a
do.
normal-
There you go.
no.
Sure.
It will not clean off her.
I'm an alchemist. We don't do that. Those are parlor tricks. And they don't target self.
You're
If
like
I go,
running the prestidigitation, and like the blood is almost like it is like part of her flesh.
if I go get some water and try to scrub it off, does it scrub off?
It does that thing. So I don't know if you've ever gotten like toner on your hands. It does that thing where you like clean it off, but it's still kind of there. Like it's just softer in color now. But there's still like the clear residue that remains.
I swear to
Damn
God,
spot.
if I have to stare at my blood on your face for the rest of the time we're together, I'm gonna get real frickin' triggered.
You could use prestidigitation to make her face the faded red that the rest of it is.
We'll just buy her a hat of disguise. She can disguise her face to look like normal.
Well, maybe. Hopefully. I mean, if prestidigitation isn't going to clean it, I don't know definitively that hat of disguise would, but...
It's more powerful magic than that. So yeah.
True, but...
Not guaranteed to work, of course. But
Yeah. Anyways.
Well, I can certainly say that the cage works as long as nobody gets too close.
And openly leaves themselves completely vulnerable to an attack.
Yes.
You didn't happen to...
Maybe you should have warned us how strong Stabby McStabbykins was.
No, Ivy, don't try to throw this on you. This is on you. I told you not to do it.
I
was
didn't
it?
know the stabby bitch could do a death effect with one stab. No one told me this. If I knew that, I wouldn't have agreed to stab.
It's a lot of uncertainties
Dagger
that
you
you're
manifested
doing
out of the shadows?
against some crazy face stabby creature.
I've
And
never
let it
seen a
do what
fey
you
creature
want.
to this day that could stab me and kill me in one stab, okay?
And I've never seen a war cat. You don't see me wanting to walk up to pet one, do ya?
I wouldn't recommend it.
I was
Exactly.
thinking about having one of those for my menagerie.
What?
A war
Yeah,
cat. It's cute.
Do you
The point is here,
recall
Ivy. This is your fault.
anything about the last several
Sure,
minutes?
I'm just saying some knowledge would have been helpful to make me make a different decision.
I recall what happened, but it wasn't like I was in the driver's seat. I was trying to get control and I couldn't.
Yes, I'm merely asking in case something like this were to happen again. Maybe we'd be able to use this information to prevent it from completely taking over or something of that nature, if it can.
It's like a battle of wills. It's whichever one of us gains control, then that's who's in control.
Well, once you let yourself go down the slide.
Interesting.
I guess there wasn't anything overly useful.
It did give us some information, but albeit not much to go on. Apparently, Ivy's brother is stupid. But I mean, we could have known that by me knowing not Ivy.
And Teus, you would recognize that what she said wasn't just stupid; it's gullible.
Gullible is more accurate.
I take offense to that, Goron, okay? I know I'm not the smartest person, but geez.
Well, if that's the case, then, I mean, that explains why you have so many defensive spells, though, Goron.
Wow.
I mean, if it runs in the family, if what that they're alleging is that your parents are cowards, and
you son of a bitch! I'm gonna punch him in the face.
Yeah, give me a melee attack roll.
How dare you be...
Oh,
yeah! My parents?
You get a solid thwack across his face.
Crit
that.
damage.
How dare you? I was jesting with Ivy, but calling my parents cowards, that's not funny.
Well, that's also something that the demon said, or the fae said, sorry. That was the only other information that we really got. Not to say that it's credible information, but that's the only other... It was there.
I'm sorry for what I said when I was a fae.
If you hit like that, then why are you always so offensive?
I feel like I was properly motivated for this one.
That was like one of those perfectly timed rolls.
It matched the RP.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Antaeus. Yeah.
I deserved it, I understand.
I cure light wounds him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my parents are a soft subject for me still.
Sorry, I don't know much about them outside from what they said.
They were brave. They sacrificed everything to get me to safety. Their lives. The greatest sacrifice one could make.
Was this when you were a baby, a child?
I've been shown some premonitions or visions of it. I can't know if they're completely true, but I've seen them. They pleaded Moirin to take me in, and they were, from what this creature said, they fled, fearing for my life. So what I've learned makes sense. It seems like they fled to save me for some reason or another, and it cost them their lives in the end.
You're not sure why they fled still?
I have no idea.
I mean, they were supposed to be swearing allegiance to the Fey Empire. They didn't want to do that.
Is that a normal thing for... Oh, I guess I'd kind of like say that out loud and mull it over my head if I know anything about Fae.
Yeah, I'll piece a little bit of this together, because you all three, I think, have enough of the information to kind of put it all together. So, Gul'ran's parents were druidic in nature. Something connected to the druids in some way. Druidic society began to get overtaken by this darkness. The darkness started sweeping across all these things. Gul'ran's parents feared for their child's life. They didn't want a child to be raised in this, so they pleaded to have Moirin take baby Gul'ran away and raise baby Gul'ran.
in the city instead of being out in the wilds where the stuff was taking over.
Correct. They themselves obviously were punished for giving away Gulran, because giving away your child is taking lineage away from the forest. When you're born, when you sort of devote yourself to the Fae, you are devoting yourself to the Fae. That means you and any progeny, just like the way Fae work. When a Fae reproduces itself, they reproduce themselves into another of themselves. They consider anything else that is in that line to be of themselves. The way that we know human beings are created is two parts of genetic material from two people merge to create one person. Therefore, it's just one of two people. Or two of one people? No, two of two people in one?
You see, when a female dwarf and a male dwarf get together...
And they're supposed to love each other very much, but sometimes it doesn't quite work out that way. Sometimes there's like a weird thing that happens. Maybe they have some sort of weird like anger issue at each other, or they were drinking too much, or just something awkward happens and everything kind of gets a little extreme, and then they end up, spending a little bit of sensual time with each other, and
their beards intertwine.
Yes. And sometime later, bamf, you have a baby. And that's the birds and the beards.
So they were like nature. It's interesting.
Well, do we have enough information to start pursuing this goal, Ivy? Or what more do we need?
I think so, but we still have to decide whether or not the Great Old Ones is ones, whatever the fuck it is, want to deal with first.
Mind your language.
You know what? No.
There's no need for profanity.
I mean, does that mean you're fucking coming with us, Goron?
I guess we didn't actually get to it, but yes, I communed with Kraskoran, and
He told you you're a big dummy?
No.
Yeah, he told you you're a big dummy and you should come help me because that's what real men do.
That's toxic masculinity. No, he did not promote such values. He reminded me that I made an oath to you to help you, and I will uphold that. And I will...
Yeah, real men uphold their oaths. That's what I was saying.
Real women do that too.
Yeah, I didn't say women can't do that either. We're talking
And
about the men right now.
Who would want to be a man? I'm a dwarf.
I'm not entirely sure, given recent information about my existence, whether or not I have a gender.
I mean, wait.
Okay.
Antaeus, you spent the night with the shopkeeper, right? You don't know if...
I don't know if that's real or if it's a manifestation of a shadow, or
You have a
really
shadow
hard
penis?
about having a vagina and see if you have one. Do it. Or no, boobs. Try to manifest boobs.
I will think about
hard.
the first
Right
one,
now.
the first suggestion
Right now.
first.
You
Boobs
can't
right now.
manifest bodily changes.
Okay.
At
That way,
least
if
not
something
without
did
magic.
happen, it wouldn't be able to be as visible as me growing boobs out of nowhere. How do I turn these off?
But that being said, you're supposed to be like an elongated facsimile of your other self.
Everywhere that counts.
Perhaps.
Obviously.
I mean, you don't recall what it was in its original form. So,
Was your elf friend, was she happy? I mean, that is a good indicator of if...
it was very confusing. She was as happy as you read about in the books the first time can probably be.
I don't know if this information is pertinent to the.
I'm just making sure you're aware out of character.
That's fair. Everything seemed to go according to plan.
Forever the romantic.
That is definitely not what you should be saying afterwards. I look at Zigmar's and I'm like, fuck.
Zigmar was here this whole time? Weren't you worried about Ivy there, Zigmar?
Ivy's a big girl. She can take care of herself. That's the wrong accent.
It's very much the wrong accent.
Also,
Who the hell are
Wait,
you?
who am I taking?
Who are you?
Also, you're not much of a cleric or a healer, as far as I know. So
I can't really heal people. That's not really my shtick. If I could have saved her, I would have. And I wasn't going to stop her from making a decision she felt like was the right decision. And could I? Look at her. Look at that magnificence.
Let's not get overboard here.
Is the dark veins more attractive to you or less attractive to you, Zigmars?
We'll see how it works out tonight.
Jesus, we don't. I mean, Graskron. We don't need to know about that.
I'm not sure I want to know the implication
You
of
have
that.
some sort of idea. It's not like you haven't, before.
I haven't.
Not quite as far, but you still did.
True.
No.
Damn, I'm the most virginal of all of you.
Yeah,
Well,
you gonna go get laid already?
With who?
Gulron, if you need to understand, I mean,
Who
it
else?
sounds
thought
as
you
if
were
they're
answering
inviting
Go
you.
on there. No, it's gonna be very awkward.
It sounds as if they're inviting you to join for
What? No.
scientific purposes.
I'm not saying no.
No, I'm saying no.
Same.
Is he still standing in the zone of truth?
Yeah.
I don't believe him.
Oh my goodness gracious.
So, anyway,
How much time before you think we're departing? I was hoping to invest in some upgrades to keep me more safe in this journey.
Yeah, I think upgrades would be good. I think we should all make sure we're sufficiently prepared and... Oh, what the fuck?
Are you expecting company, Neil?
not really, but I'll go get it.
I'll go.
You get to the door. There is a very heavily armored knight that stands at the door. He holds a tightly wrapped piece of parchment with a seal around it, and he extends it to you. Official summons for Niev.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I'm going to need you to crack the seal and look upon it, please. He shows you his official certification from the knight, as a certifying that he is a knight.
I will open it.
Yeah, you crack the seal. Give me a will save.
Oh boy.
I don't think you can succeed this, but I'd like to see you try.
Explosive runes.
Yeah. You feel there's like a feeling of being very exposed all in one moment. Like an entire lot of people just suddenly became informed of your exact location and your exact action in that very moment of time. Like realizing you just did something wrong. Well, there's like 3 security cameras all staring at you at the same time. Thank you. That's all I needed. And he turns and walks away. And the details of the note are within the note. But you have been summoned to appear before the ministry as of tomorrow morning. The details are unlisted.
All about Neil.
You also feel like if you don't go, there will be terrible ramifications on you and potentially your lineage, if you have one.
How far away from me is she?
She's a few feet. She's on the other side of the room.
Okay, so within 40 feet?
Sure.
My detect scrying doesn't go off?
Nope, your detect scrying does not go off.
Okay.
It was not scrying. A spell does
Alright.
not utilize.
Not that
the
I would know
scry.
anything about what happened in character, but
Yeah.
Well, it looks like I have an appointment tomorrow.
For what?
I
It
don't think
doesn't
so.
say.
Now I'm curious. Hold on, this might actually be scrying. I thought it wasn't.
Were you allowed to do this little experiment you just did?
Yeah, it's not scrying.
Maybe we should have asked that before we let you
I
do
wasn't not allowed to do it, and I did ask them to build the damn cage.
it. Oh, you got ministry to build the cage?
Yeah.
Oh, well then they should have been aware of what you were doing.
who did you specifically talk to?
Maybe this is completely unrelated.
The required.
strange.
Okay. Yeah,
Just
I've
strange
come to
that-
learn recently that you need to talk to the right people about these things, otherwise,
And Teus, you're fluent in the laws. Did we do anything that would warrant her being summoned for any trouble, or maybe this is a...
So yeah, here, like, this is one of those situations where there's nothing on the paper, and I think that's the most confusing part. You know, if she had violated a law, though, it would have to be on the paper. Like, they have to disclose what law she's broken if she's being convicted of something. But she could be required to go because she's got to testify on something that might be a confidential matter.
If I look at the
Oh.
paper after casting that, do I see anything?
I don't remember how this works.
There isn't any, like, you don't think this is how they're getting you to come talk to that one person that they said they were gonna.
Maybe.
What is this about? What?
There
Remember
was,
they told her about
Someone dead at the tunnel.
yes.
I
Yeah,
don't
you get
remember this.
as you use read magic. The magic on this seems to be gone now. There's if like Ivy would see like the as you kind of like turn around and she can now see the paper, she would see like there's the lingering aura of very powerful magic that is slowly like
Can I get the
fading.
school?
Yeah, give me a
Wait,
knowledge
is that an
arcana.
arcana?
Yeah, it's the
never
arcana check.
mind. Yeah, never mind. I could spellcraft if it was a spell craftable thing, but I can't arcana.
Well,
Sorry, my memory escapes me. What is this about? Someone you wanted to talk to?
so you know how there's a tunnel that can eventually lead me back to where I come from, right?
I remember hearing about this like when you were doing your thing, but was I in there during that, or do you tell my character?
We
about it?
we have
we know
learned
about
about the
it.
tunnel previously.
Yeah, so basically, what's his butt told her that they found a person dead outside the tunnel, and that they were going to have her come talk to them eventually when they.
Yes. I heard this out of character, but in character, have I heard this yet? or
It's
no?
presumed
Yeah.
that Niev could have told you, but you could
Yeah.
also have just forgotten. You've been busy with a lot of stuff as of late. So it might make sense for Ghoulrun to have forgotten this.
Yeah. Maybe you refresh me. So you think they're forcing you to go talk to this person?
Well, it's not exactly forcing. So it was framed as a good thing when Rion told me about it. Apparently, some goblins were found from somewhere outside of Sierra Savant. And they had a dead body with them, and they had used the tunnel to get into Sierra Savant. And Rion said they were working on a way to resurrect this person, and that I would be allowed to question them. But I don't know. This could be what that's about, but
Why would they
Would-
do it so cryptically and not let you
Yeah.
know about it? It's weird.
I don't
Well,
know.
that's the only reason why I wondered if it was that just because it is cryptic. Like, I don't know if this is stuff that they would openly want to announce or have record of, because it's away potentially out of the country, which is
True.
not supposed to
true.
be possible.
That's a very good idea for someone who thought she was so dumb, huh?
I mean, I have average wisdom. I can put 2 and 2 together sometimes.
Very good. Well, this has been an exciting night, but I think it's time for bed.
I think you need to touch that item that Antaeus wanted you to touch. That'll just
What?
cap off the night nicely.
What item?
Oh, yes.
Remember the item that Thoth gave him or whatever? Or took him out of the book and then Thoth was talking to him or something?
I thought I told him to get rid of that.
You just put it back in the book. He got rid of it, in a manner of speaking.
Yeah, this. No?
You're able to pull it out of the book? He pulls it back out of the book?
Because it was the other item that that turned into Okay.
Antaeus, destroy that thing, I told you. Or I'll do it for you. I'll take out my warhammer.
No.
Just hold it still.
No. What?
Put it down on the ground. I'll smash it.
No, but...
You know, just because you disagree with a deity doesn't make them inherently bad, right?
It's little more than a disagreement when he vowed to
that
kill
makes-
me.
Wait a minute. Last time I touched this, I didn't have to do anything, right? It just did its thing.
You're not exactly sure how exactly it worked.
All right, Antaeus, put it on the ground right there.
Well,
I'll
doesn't
smash
appear to
it
be
good.
working. At least that I could
Yeah,
remember.
why would you expect something to work that Thoth gave you?
Thoth didn't give it to me. I've told you this.
Didn't it indirectly he gave it to you or something like that? Your technicality.
This was
He just
Okay.
pulled it out of the book when he was in the astral plane, and then Thoth talked to him afterwards.
I'm confused. I thought...
If I remember correctly, though, technically the item doesn't glow right now.
Oh.
I'm trying. I apologize, but I'm not. Some of the details are a
There
little
we
bit
go.
fuzzy. But yeah.
So did Thoth give you this thing or not? I'm confused.
No. If I recall correctly, Antaeus said that Thoth said that you should hold it.
That I
But-
should hold it.
Yes, but
Oh,
that
he'd like that, wouldn't he? Let me smash that thing. Put it on the
No.
ground. I'll hold it.
no.
All right, fine. I'll hold it. Do it here.
want me to hold your warhammer?
I can hold on to my warhammer.
Do you take it from Antaeus?
I want to like slap it out of his hand and then go to smash it.
All right.
I was actually gonna hold on to it for a minute to see that, like,
Yeah.
if he grabbed
give
it,
me
if
a,
I could go
give
in
me a
there with
CMB
him.
check, Gulran, since you've declared exactly what you want to do.
Because my intention was to, like, for him
Yeah,
to
he
touch
might
it
have
and for it to
foreseen
activate
this.
while both of us were holding it, so
Yeah.
that I could be in the conversation
No,
as
let's-
well. So
Yeah, and then give me a. You have your own maneuver, so Antaeus, give me a combat maneuver check as well.
Who is more maneuverable?
Ooh. So this is less about that. Gulran, what is your CMD?
20.
Okay. And Antaeus, what is your CMD?
21.
So you slap it, Antaeus kind of holds it in his hand, but your fingers like doing the kind of caught underneath, so you kind of like throw Antaeus's arm back and behind you, and your like hands sort of come a little bit loose as you do that. But nothing seems to happen. Like he got a solid touch grip almost on the object, and nearly like ripped it completely from your hands. Like it came partially loose, but also nothing happened.
Put it back before he starts breaking things.
Antaeus, let me break that thing.
No.
There's no good can come from it.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that this was from the book, because I remember I put it specifically in the bag, so that way I could.
Sure,
pull it out
it's
from
from
bag,
the
not
book.
the book.
But if Thoth wants me to do something with it, it can't be good.
It wasn't just Thoth. The mistress also wanted you to.
Yeah, that's double ungood. More of the reason to destroy this thing.
No,
You're lucky I don't have whole person prepared. Whatever.
You're that adamant about destroying this that you would.
If
hold
it's
person?
something that the god who directly opposes me and wants my demise wants me to do something with it, I think we should not do that. You know what I'm saying, Antaeus?
I understand what you're saying. I think it's
Just
also
disagree?
personally, I think it's a little short-sighted, but that's my opinion.
So,
Sorry.
okay, Mr. Smarty Pants, what do you think we should do with it? Your greatest enemy presents you something, and what do you want to do? Or, sorry, your greatest enemy sees you have something, tells you to do something with it. Do you want to do it?
Your greatest enemy tells you about something. It comes and talks to you when you're using it and can't touch you.
Okay.
Can't do anything to you.
Uh-huh.
It's actually potentially the safest you would be from him.
And how do you know he couldn't do those things? What if he was just playing like he couldn't? He's a goddamn god. You can't trust anything.
Well,
Do whatever he wants.
It felt like he couldn't, and it also felt like when the mistress came by and tried to interact with me, she couldn't either. I mean, I understand it. If you don't want to, that's your opinion. I just think that...
All right. How about this? If you let me take that object, but I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to put it in a bag or something, and I'll try to commune with Kraskaran on it to see if he can help me with this thing. I give you my word, I won't try to destroy it.
And he's in the zone of truth.
Until we discuss about it further after I try this.
Well, if you'd like, I could put it back in the bag until you want to speak with him about it. Simply because...
Sure, I guess.
Because the way that this bag is specifically crafted with the silver lining, I think it's safer there.
Sure, as long as you don't distract me when I'm praying.
No, I wouldn't surprise you with it and try to force it upon you.
Hey, Goron, catch!
Alright, tomorrow I guess I'll prepare to do this, and I guess we're going to attend, if we can, this meeting that Niev needs to go to make sure you're alright.
Excellent. Well, we will see what tomorrow brings for a short break. See you shortly.
Do you want to be a champion? I mean that sincerely. Do you actually want to be a champion? I've seen what you can do. You're good. Maybe even good enough. But you're lazy. Most of the time you just sit there judging others for their mistakes. When you know you could do better. Well, now's your chance. Do you want to be a champion? I mean that sincerely. Do you actually want to be a champion? I've seen what you can do. You're good. Maybe even good enough. But you're lazy. Most of the time you just sit there judging others for their mistakes. When you know you could do better. Well, now's your chance. to be a champion? I mean that sincerely. Do you actually want to be a champion? I've seen what you can do. You're good. Maybe even good enough. But you're lazy. Most of the time you just sit there judging others for their mistakes. When you know you could do better. Well, now's your chance. Do you want to be a champion? I mean that sincerely. Do you actually want to be a champion? I've seen what you can do. You're good. Maybe even good enough. But you're lazy. Most of the time you just sit there judging others for their mistakes. When you know you could do better. Well, now's your chance. Do you want to be a champion? I mean that sincerely. Do you actually want to be a champion? I've seen what you can do. You're good. Maybe even good enough. But you're lazy. Most of the time you just sit there judging others for their mistakes. When you know you could do better. Well, now's your chance. Do you want to be a champion? I mean that sincerely. actually want to be a champion? I've seen what you can do. You're good. Maybe even good enough. But you're lazy. Most of the time you just sit there judging others for their mistakes. When you know you could do better. Well, now's your chance. Do you want to be a champion? I mean that sincerely. Do you actually want to be a champion? I've seen what you can do. You're good. Maybe even good enough. But you're lazy. Most of the time you just sit there judging others for their mistakes. When you know you could do better. Well, now's your chance. Do you want to be a champion? I mean that sincerely. Do you actually want to be a champion? I've seen what you can do. You're good. Maybe even good enough. But you're lazy. Most of the time you just sit there judging others for their mistakes. When you know you could do better. Well, now's your chance. Do you want to be a champion? I mean that sincerely. Do you actually want to be a champion? I've seen what you can do. You're good. Maybe even good enough. But you're lazy. Most of the time you just sit there judging others for their mistakes. When you know you could do better. Well, now's your chance.
So, morning comes. Gulran, I believe you had plans for the morning.
Yeah, if before bed or this morning, whatever, I'll just go out and buy the 500 GP worth of incense for the spell.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll deduct that, and then I'll knock on Antaeus' door to do this.
Okay.
Let him in, I suppose.
Yep.
I guess.
Did we do this with everyone, or just us two, or what?
I don't know. I don't know if it.
Let's just get everyone. Let's eat some food for breakfast, and let's do this commune thing. What time is? Do we know what time Niev has to be there?
Yes, you have time.
Okay. So yeah, we'll meet up with everyone if we can,
Sure.
and then we'll just do this together.
You can gather together everybody that wants to come over with your early in the morning meetup, because I believe Gulran and Antaeus are the two earliest risers.
Yeah. Wake the
Does
fuck
Sigmar
up!
stay the night? Is he still with Ivy?
Yeah, Zigmar's is probably still with Ivy.
I'll go with Hunter over there.
Yeah, whenever whoever wants to come is assembled, I'll cast Commune, which takes 10 minutes and consumes my incense that I bought.
Yeah. The incense will burn away, and you will feel the hand of Kraskaran upon your shoulder once more, waiting for your questions.
Antaeus presents me with some object from his book that Thoth and the Mistress want me to interact with. Antaeus says it might be a good idea. I don't know if this will lead to my demise if I try to experiment with this thing. Can you give me any insight?
Places beyond these, this can provide in way to lose that word in the middle of pronouncing it. This will provide insight that cannot be provided even by these means.
Is there a proper way to interact with this thing? Do you know what this is?
No, Eddies.
Well, do you know? So you know what it is. Well, what is it?
There are boundaries of what I can say in this way.
I see. Well, as long as if it's not dangerous, I guess getting insight is never a bad thing, but
It is impossible for it to cause danger.
I just am skeptical if it's something Thoth wants.
Thoth has no part.
tell Antaeus to get me to do this? Well, as long as you say this doesn't aid him, I guess I have no qualms about helping Antaeus with this. Thank you for your assistance.
Thank you, Gulran.
Yes, I guess I come out of this prayer eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at the party or whoever's here and say, seems like Kraskron says this is of no offense to him, and Thoth should not be able to harm me if I do what you want, Antaeus, so let's get it over with. What do you want me to do with this thing?
Well, I think that what I did is I just holding it, if I remember correctly. I don't believe I did anything extra, but I also didn't do it here. So I don't know if that changes things.
Well, give it here and let's try then, first of all.
Sure.
You can hand it over to him. It will, seemingly nothing will happen.
Well, where did you say you held it before that maybe would matter?
Well, so it was when I was astral projecting.
Thoth couldn't be more clear about what did you wanted you to do with this thing.
Oh yes, because Thoth gives the information.
I'm surprised he even gave you that much.
Exactly. I still don't believe this doesn't aid him in some way or another.
So you're thinking that perhaps Goron needs to also be astral projecting in order to...
Can you bring me along when you do that spell, or is it just yourself?
You can.
You can, yes. In
Well,
fact, if everybody
have
wants
time
to
to do that now. Maybe we should all take a
Yeah, you know you don't have time to do that now because you know time is different on the astral plane.
I'm gonna pass on that, but maybe me and Zigmars can help pull y'all out if things get a little wonky, but I think
Good
me and
choice.
going weird other places is probably a bad mix.
Alright, we'll mess with this stuff after Niam's thing.
Alright. The four of you can head down to the arranged meeting location.
I'll hand the
in
thing back
ministry.
to
Yeah.
Antaeus.
When you arrive, there are a number of guards standing in front of the large entryway. You kind of open into this large room that has a couple of different openings. These large sealed doorways. There are guards there are 3 or 4 guards stationed in front of each of these massive doorways, and you go up to one of these doors. You can show them the piece of parchment that was handed to you, the scroll that you were given, and they will reach out, and they reach out to grab the door, and their hand kind of grows larger to help them pull open these massive doors. And as they open, there is a brightness that pours out of the room, making sight nearly impossible into the room. And Antaeus and Ivy, you are in intense pain as this door opens. You kind of feel like if you continue to stand here, this will start to do substantial damage to you.
Well, out of the way, I guess.
Yeah, do the same.
The two of you can step back. Gulran, you feel an intense feeling of soothing calm and fervor. No, not fervor. Steadfastness And you have that pleasant feeling of being like out in it, not necessarily a quiet meadow, but like that perfect temperature or that perfect like sound. A little bit of the birds in the background. You can hear the rustle of a few creatures moving about the woods around you. Just at peace. Do the two of you proceed without being able to see ahead?
I would, yes.
Yeah, I guess so.
The doors will slowly close behind the two of you as the guards shout out to the two of you, "Not going in!"
I don't think we were technically summoned.
Yeah, that's probably it.
The door closes behind Gulran and Niev. The light will slowly, return to a more normal level. Still bright. Something within this room is creating a lot more light than you would expect. Something that stands kind of in the center of the room. You can make out, the shape of what is probably Rian, and maybe Nina Slav and a small, goblin figure, or maybe goblin figure, and then this figure slowly builds into view as the light as your eyes gradually start to adjust to the light. This figure.
Who the fuck are you?
Ara, you are alive again. You have been through a lot. You saw that there is no place for you in death. When you died, you've done a lot of research into religion. You've spent a lot of your life following the tenets of Shashat, trying to understand as much as you can about the world. There is a place where you are sort of called to your destination from after you die. When you passed on, there is no place for you. No one came for you. No one called out to you. But you definitely moved on. But with no one to call for you, it's just empty, quiet, and it feels like an eternity. When you were pulled out of it, it was probably a relief to know that that wasn't going to be the rest of your life, or the rest of your death. You know that even bad souls, they might get an afterlife, or some of them just get destroyed. But to get neither, you have had a number of questions asked of you by these people about what you went through, where you were, how things went, what you're doing here. You've answered so many of the same questions over and over and over again. And as they say they're bringing in 2 more people, you know you're going to be answering literally the same questions once more. But at least this time, you feel like part of the reason you might be here is coming to ask you these questions. And as the door closes, you see a tall elven woman and a rather stone-faced looking dwarf. And you hear Gulran ask, Who the fuck are you?
Language,
That's a very
Goron.
interesting way to greet someone, but if you must know, my name is Rakata.
Like the cheese?
Excuse me, Niev. Must you be so disrespectful? Have you
sorry?
learned nothing from your experience working for us? Rakata, not Ricotta. Those are two different names. I'll have you treat someone that I have spent a near fortune bringing back into this world with respect, especially since you're the one who might have the most interest in talking to her.
I was simply clarifying. I'm sorry, Miss Kata.
You can call me Ra.
My name is Niev.
And you are Mr. Rude Dwarf?
I wasn't rude. My name's Gluron. You sound a lot like Ivy.
I don't know who this Ivy person is, but okay.
It's almost like you use the same voice for multiple people.
It's almost like I don't know how to talk in
I know,
an
I'm
English
sorry.
accent.
I turn to, who's the guy who brought her back? Is this like a head ministry person, or who is it?
This is Rian.
Oh, it's
It's
Rian?
Rian, Ninaslav, and yeah, I fucked up Rian's accent. It was supposed to be a little bit more
Oh,
asinine.
okay. So Rian says I brought her back, a fortune to bring her back?
Yes.
I guess I'll just look to Ninoslav since I don't like Rian, and I'll say, what is the purpose of this? So, who is this person? Why is she here?
You can ask me that yourself if you'd like.
All
You
right.
should ask her yourself. That's what she's here for.
Well, I know your name is Ra. And you
Yes.
seem quite experienced, but why are you here, and what do you have that pertains to my friend here?
I'm here because I'm probably one of the few people, that's the term, who has made it here from another country. I have traveled from a country known as RA4. And
Never heard of it.
died in doing so, but, like they said, they spent a fortune to bring me back, and I am extremely thankful for that.
Why did you come all this way and risk your life?
My story is a long one, but in a nutshell, I was stuck in a city I very much didn't want to be in, with no way out except for this way. And so I made a deal with some rather interesting people, divine people, to come here in search of an item that I need to return back.
What item?
I am looking for a book that does not belong to the person who
Ooh.
has it, and
I
belongs.
give Niev a anxious look.
I'm like trying not to show surprise. I don't know if I have to roll a bluff or something, but I'm trying not to like react.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I will be able to tell.
Yeah, what's your hold on, this might actually matter. Go roll off. Sense motive versus bluff.
I
'cause
don't
Niev's
have,
bluff is really high. I'll give you a
Okay,
character
I don't
sheet.
have
Hold
my
on.
character sheet.
I got
Yeah.
the transmogrifier.
I was gonna be like, you're gonna have a
I
damn
thought
high
I'd
bluff.
actually moved it over, but it looks like I did not. So give me 1 sec. Transmogrifier from
Oh,
conscripted.
you rolled a 6
to
there.
Yeah.
Theurgy.
You do have a crazy bluff.
Yeah.
Well, I've been putting all my skills into face skills.
Social PvP. Social PvP.
I have rules for it.
I mean, I think I probably have to roll very, very poorly to not beat that, but
You should
Yes.
have a raw character sheet.
yeah, I do.
Welcome to being one of the few
Yes.
people that's been able to play 3 different characters in one
I'm gonna
campaign.
say-
What are you, Ryan?
Where is my gauge?
Oh!
Damn.
Yeah.
She wasn't joking.
No, it's pretty intense, but I mean, it's 20 versus 25.
It's only,
Yeah.
it's only 5 more bonus.
Yeah.
So it's actually close.
But yeah, you can see that that she is surprised.
Do you know of an interesting book?
One or two.
We know of this book that you speak of, but I don't know if we're ready to just hand it over to you. It's been helpful in our goals. And we just met you. I don't know what this item even means to you. What do you plan on doing with it?
I think at this point, she still carries around that old idol, and she'll probably pull it out of her pocket and start like messing with it in her hands.
Gulran would probably notice it immediately.
Yeah.
She is holding an idol to Shashat.
But old Sascha.
Very
not...
old, yes.
Yeah.
There is no bow on the Shashat's back. There is merely the book in hand, and the spiral symbol around her neck.
I'd say I probably would recognize it too, since I went to Mirashad. Maybe.
No, Mirashad is built around the idea of the new Shashat.
Gulran will raise his eyebrows if he notices it and say, "Are you a cleric of Shashat?"
I am not a cleric, but I do get what magic I still have divinely. And although I fear it is fruitless at this point, yes, I am probably what I would imagine is the most devout follower of that Sascha has left.
Obviously, you never met Morin, but yes, I used to be a practicer or worshipper of Shashat, but I found a god that more aligns with my goals, that was more active in my life, but I still respect Shashat.
I do not blame you. It's very difficult at times to keep faith with all that I know of her, but I guess my goals have shifted at this point. I want to provide, hopefully in the future, something for those who still believe in what she used to stand for. Someone for them to pray to and actually get answers. If I'm lucky enough to ever find a path to that.
Well, I'll be frank with you. One of our companions holds a book that's somewhat what you describe. I don't know if it's the book you're looking for, but it's not ours to give away. It's his, unless I look
I'm trying to
the...
remember exactly what Kandor told me. I know he said some weird stuff about... It's been a while since we did this session, so I'm trying to remember what he said about, like, who I'm to look for. Because I think he did some weird Kandor-y stuff where he was like, me, but not me,
Yes,
but me.
something that looks similar to what he looked like to you.
Okay. All I know is there is a man I have dealt with off and on. He is a very strange man, but he seems to have some sort of insight into what is happening in this world above all others, and he, for some reason, believes that he holds the power to fix things, but I must find the person who looks like him but is not him but is him. And he holds a book, and I need to obtain this book and bring it back to him.
What's his name?
Kandor Rasavant.
I will definitely react to that.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of this name before?
Ryan. Yes. Yes, I have.
If you can even believe it, Kandor, backed by Thoth and the Mistress themselves, and some other I have to assume it's someone divine, but it's quite odd that I have no idea who they are. Backed him in order to help me retrieve this. Thoth mostly just because I am a loose end and he thought I would die, which I guess I did. He just didn't foresee someone caring enough to bring me back. The mistress, I'm not really sure why she backs Candor. I think they have some connection that they don't speak of, but regardless, it
This
has
can't
been
be a
quite an
coincidence.
endeavor.
Thoth and Mistress working together to tell you stuff, and they recently spoke to our companion that holds this book as well. I don't like this.
I'm sure there are many things that Thoth and the mistress do together, but the most important thing is I trust Candor. And he says getting this book is important, and it got me out of that godforsaken city I was stuck in.
Well, unless this is an order, and I look to Ninoslav, I'm not going to force our friend to give you this book. You'll have to talk to him and convince him yourself.
Rion snaps your attention away from Ninoslav. Eyes over here, Gulran. You just do not seem to understand, do you? You're not the person who answers these things, but nor is he. We're not sure if what she says checks out, and it's not my book to tell her whether or not it should or should not be given. You'll notice, though, there is one thing that we were very concerned with. It's very hard for your friends to be around her. He gestures to the door and behind you, noticing that they're not there. If they could get close enough to her, this would not be a problem, but when we brought her back, it caused a large number of our sensors to go a little bit chaotic. There is a strange conflux of divine energy that flows around this one. Unusual as it may be. It seems any interaction between the two of them would likely not work in a material form.
Maybe a conversation on the astral plane?
I hadn't thought about astral. I was just going to give them both telepathy.
Well, that works. You're just talking about it earlier. Yeah.
It's not a bad idea. I could bring her into the astral plane. The three of you could make your way there yourselves. Ra, would you be partial to this idea?
I believe I have no reason to have issue with this.
Very well. I believe if information serves well, your friend Antaeus has access to the astral plane.
Yes.
Yes, the only worry I had is last time he did it, he got stuck there, and if we all go, there's no one to bring us. I guess, I don't know, maybe...
If we're doing it with Rion's help, then there'll be plenty of people to bring us back if we need it. Plus, I don't think Ivy's going.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
True. Ivy, you do not think Ivy would attend?
She didn't. We were already talking about possibly going to the astral plane, and she said that she didn't want to go there.
Good. If she refuses to go, please have the guards escort her out. She can go sit at home.
Okay.
Maybe that little ne'er-do-well can keep her company again.
For once, Rian, we agree on something.
Smart.
I don't know if that's good or bad from your perspective.
A stop clock is right 3 times a day.
All right. I forgot time works different that way. Wait a minute, did you just...
Clocks exist.
Orion.
Yeah, but I guess... Do you guys have any more questions you want to ask Ra here, or do you want to wait until the astral plane?
I would be inclined to want to wait till the astral plane, just because I would rather Antaeus and Ivy, but mostly Antaeus, be present as well, since this is all talking about stuff that's pertinent to him.
Yeah, seeing the Shashat amulet or whatever it is, and seeing her devotion to Shashat kind of like quashed Gulran's like worry that she's like someone that can't be trusted. It seems like she's a devout religious person, and in some regards maybe even more resolved than him, because she kept with Shashat where he had found a new god. So he's kind of like, oh shit, respect, I guess. So respect.
So the two of you can, the door will open for you as you kind of turn to it and step back out. And you'll find not much time has actually passed. Like, Antaeus and Ivy are probably like discussing why is the door closed, why they couldn't go in or whatever. And almost immediately as you guys start it, the door opens.
Guys?
Oh, we didn't keep you waiting.
You walked in and then walked back out. What are you talking about?
Oh.
Time runs differently in that room, apparently. So the person in there is the person they found at the tunnel, and in order to get around the aura or whatever it is keeping you guys out, Rion suggested we all meet up on the astral plane. Also, she wants your book, Antaeus, for Candor.
Just a quick side note. She seems to be trustworthy. She's a follower of Shashat, and she seems to have noble intentions, but obviously you can make your judgments when you speak to her.
I suppose the most important bit of information is, what's her name?
Rakada. She said we can call her Ra.
I don't know if I have enough culinary knowledge.
Also, don't mispronounce it or make any references to edible substances. It's a bit of a sore point, apparently.
What else do you want to know about her?
Like, what edible substances?
Well, like ricotta, like the cheese.
Yeah, stop with your humor. It's not funny.
No,
Well,
I was warning him
important.
not to say that.
Well, that's important, though. That's the exact information that I needed.
Oh, God.
I was
All
told
right.
to give this to...
You were told to give the book to someone?
Yes, I guess maybe we could discuss that when we see her.
Well, why don't we discuss it first? Why is this the first time I'm hearing about this?
Well, yes, let's go discuss this. Someone that's not here, perhaps? I don't know if it matters, but...
Well, I don't know if they wanted to do this right now or not, but...
Oh, that's a good point.
They did want to do it right now.
Yeah, it's fine. I guess we'll discuss it there. I just want to give you a heads up on who we're dealing with. She's from a country called RE4, apparently, and she was...
In a place that she didn't want to be. City she didn't want to be.
And apparently she had discussions with Thoth and the Mistress, some unknown figure, about retrieving this book. So, kind of aligns with your same deities that spoke to you about your stuff. I don't know if that matters to you.
I know enough to know that RA4
You know more than any person from Sierra Savant should be able to know about RA4.
Good to know. So I can verify that that is a place. And
Yes.
Actually, I wouldn't know about if that's a place that would be able to... She came here from there?
She said she was in another place, I thought. But she didn't want to be there.
Sounded like she was in a place in RA4, and then she escaped from there or traveled here through this tunnel or whatever.
But that's why I was thinking we should meet up on the astral plane, is that way you can ask her these questions yourself.
They
Yeah,
give
I
you a
just want to give you a
destination.
heads up. What'd you say?
Did they give you a destination for where to meet up on the astral plane?
Do we not just appear?
In the same spot that we're at.
Yeah, like if they go in the astral plane over there, are we not in a similar spot? I don't know how it works.
It's a
We
little
can
hazier
confirm
than
that, I guess.
Yes. Do they want me to do this here, or...
I'll go confirm the details.
Yeah, they will let you back in. You can confirm. They want you to do it.
Also about components. Spell components. I don't know if I need the spell components. I'll double check, though.
It's from here to here. Whatever you might need will be provided for you.
Oh,
They'll
and
provide
Ivy,
any costs you got in Teus, and they say you can do it here.
Well, it
Ivy
needs to be
Rion
done here.
Needs to be done here.
Ivy Rion said if you didn't want to go, to have the guards escort you home with, and you could hang out with Sigmars.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Go fuck your goblin.
Fuck that. If that's what Rion said, then I'm coming.
I feel like you're gonna need to talk to yourself, and it's gonna be weird.
I assure you, it's not gonna be weird. You've committed.
Oh god. Can RP with yourself?
No. Alright.
Alright, I guess you're going. Let's strap in. Do we need to hold hands? I just hold
Probably.
Teus's hand.
I'll pat Antaeus's head.
Are we going to a specific room? Did they want me to just do this out here? This feels weird to do it out here.
Just do it, you pansy.
Well, I'll go to the... I'll try to see if I can go to the, that one room.
30-minute
do it.
casting time, oh my god.
Yeah, it takes quite a while.
Yeah, why am I blanking on his name?
I mean, there's no
Middleslav,
guards around, right? Like,
Rion.
it's just guards around, so just cast it right here. Like, what's the
Yeah.
big deal?
You were told to cast it here and go here.
Oh, I was told specifically to cast it at this spot.
That's what they
Yes.
said.
This
I
is a
thought they meant at the
secure
ministry
location.
building.
This is a secure location. You are in the ministry building, in the most secure spot you could be in, besides maybe Maha's office. But yeah, you three manifest your personas on the astral plane.
Ooh.
Ivy, you arrive on the astral plane and you leave the party immediately. You dart away from the party.
Oh, fuck.
You are not Ivy on the astral
Oh.
plane.
What the fuck?
Bye.
Shit.
As you guys kind of manifest and then Ivy goes darting off, Rihanna's like, well, I guess that needs to be dealt with, doesn't it?
What happened? Where's she going?
Doesn't matter. He pulls something out of his bag and he, puts it to his face. Ivy's on the run. I really thought she'd walk. Take care of it.
Should we be worried about this?
Everything will turn out as it turns out.
All he's saying,
does that
I'm gonna rummage in my bag to see if I can feel the map that I had last time.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
It means that I will take care of things as is my job.
Well, she is my friend, and I don't want her to die.
If
Is her
she
life
dies
at risk?
here, she's not dead there. It's
Oh.
fine.
Alright.
It will cause her some damage potentially, but we can deal with it.
Okay, I'll take
More
your word
damage.
for it.
She'll recover. When I tell you things, and you think that your friend is not gonna... You know what? I should have just been more clear, shouldn't I? This is really on me, isn't this one?
Yep, I agree.
I did not expect you to
Hard
go out there and
feelings.
tell her that I said she shouldn't come along.
Well, I didn't tell her
I
that.
think that's the only way she would have had this motivation.
I mean, I don't want to put any fingers, but Niev said that.
I assumed.
I told her to go fuck her goblin.
That probably didn't help.
What? She likes fucking it.
Oh my god, you called him an it?
Sorry, I shouldn't say
First
it.
of all, he is a
Goblins
dreadful
are people
person,
too.
but I don't know about him not being a person.
Yeah, sorry. It's old habits die hard. Goblins are people too. Same with orcs.
Well, let me change the music here.
You realize the person you've been talking to is a half-orc, right?
That was the joke.
Okay.
Making
Damn,
a
don't
joke
say
at
that in front of her.
The age-old dwarves actually do not like orcs, stereotypically.
I feel like that Ra would probably be a little suspicious of Goron because he reminds her of this person that she can't quite remember.
Goron is nothing like that person.
Yeah. Ra, you stand there before them. You see now before you this creature that looks elven. This... Give me a gauge check. This is not quite what you would expect. But as you look him over carefully, you start to see it. Features elongated, stretched, and twisted in some ways, but not the way you would expect at first. But this must be him.
Well,
Ra,
Ra,
This is
yeah.
Antaeus.
I hope you don't have a problem with elven arcane weavers.
If she has a problem with elves, she'd have a problem with me, wouldn't she?
Yes, you look different than I expected, but you do resemble him in certain ways.
Assume you're talking about Candor?
Yes.
Yes, I suppose.
I'm assuming you know why I've come then.
Yes, for this book.
He says it's his, and that in order to set things right, he needs it back.
That's understandable. It was nice to have more time with it to be able to figure it out. Why is it here? What is it all be? Anyways. Suppose I'll reluctantly go reach for the book.
Hold on, wait. Didn't we need to experiment with that thing from the book here while we're here?
Oh, yes.
Before you just give it away.
Oh, well, that's in here.
You pull it out,
Yeah.
it will glow.
Okay, are you talking about this?
Should I take hold of it?
If you'd like, yes, I suppose.
Yeah, you can take it. Rian looks at this thing, and Ivy's not there, that's right, sorry. Rian looks at this thing, and as he does, he kind of takes a few steps back.
Okay.
Start speaking. Alexa, is that you?
The fuck did that happen?
Okay.
It's glowing in my hand.
What is that? That magnitude of power.
I don't know. I look to Antaeus for answers.
Something from the book? I'll look over to Rakata.
You feel, Gulran, not just the sensation of a mighty hand on your shoulder. You feel an attempt from a great stone hand to touch your shoulder. You can feel like there's like a pressure that comes, like something is pushing away something off of your shoulder. And you will hear spoken after a moment. My child, it is good to see you again.
Kreska.
Turn before me.
I turn.
As you turn, you will see the massive figure of Krazkaran, standing about 4 times your size, towering above you. This massive, like, kind of stone and magma constructed body, with one massive eye and a slow-moving maw beneath it.
I immediately drop to my knees and like a subject before a king almost, and just, it's really you, Kreskaran. I can't believe it.
It is. You have done well for us. There is much that still must be done. Spread the word. Spreading the word is good. That is only where it starts. Train others. Find new yous. You got me here. You can make us real. He will, like, slowly kneel down to you. Everything we have done has led towards better things. The overworld must know there is a better way. Being caught up in the struggle of order and chaos. There is devotion, care, resolve. You are stubborn and foolhardy, but determined, capable. But most importantly, you see through eyes others may not. Remember, Gulran, sometimes, many times, you're not as right as you think you are. And sometimes you're still just right. One big question I allow you before I must leave. This thing still has limits, but they are much less than your commune.
One question. I guess The only question I have at this moment is this Ra character. Can we trust her?
Ra.
Should we aid her?
Ra's heart is pure. Her goals devoted to the right actions. Ra could be as good a servant to me as you have been. You unfortunately cannot aid her. Your place is here. If you go with her, you may only slow her down. Deal with what you must here. Grow the temple. Grow yourself. Grow others. That is how you can best help her and everyone else.
Thank you.
Thank you. And he will kind of like curl up into like a sort of stone, like a large stone, and gradually kind of fall to pieces on the ground.
Do the rest of us see all of this, or do we hear even Gulron's side?
You don't hear like things that sound like words coming from Gulron's mouth, but there are like sounds coming out of his mouth. And it looks as if he's talking to someone and interacting with somebody, but like nothing you can do can interfere with what's happening. If you like walk up and try to touch him, there's like a force that keeps you from touching him.
Well, what happened?
Yeah, take this back into this. I spoke to my god.
Give it to Ra. Please. Just for a moment.
I'm assuming I hear a voice.
Yes.
That's definitely the mistress's voice.
Right.
Yes, who's calling?
You know who. And I'm sure it's longer.
Ra, it seems as if, somebody wants to speak to you.
Okay. I'll take it.
Okay.
Is she GMing or am I? You take the orb. It's good to finally get to see you for real. As you like hear those words, the figure of the mistress kind of like oozes into view, dripping into your sight range.
Why would it be you that comes to talk to me? Let me guess, because the shot truly does not exist, so therefore she cannot.
You make sad assumptions. I loved her, just as I love many of them. If I could have her back, I would.
But that's not her choice, is it?
No, it's not. She seeked other options. You could find her if it was really your wish.
My wish is for those who still believe in her to have someone to believe in.
I know. And we're working on that. Unfortunately, you made a mistake. One that you're stuck trying to pay off now. You know what I'm talking about, or have you forgotten?
I feel like there is something I can't quite place about my past.
You must find what is lost. You must feel what is now unfelt. There are responsibilities you have now, Ra. If you can achieve them, if you keep things up, you can bring faith to the unbelievers. And she goes to reach out, she's trying to touch your cheek, but her hand seems held away from being able to do so. And it might require something you personally might not want. Maybe a little faith in someone you don't want to have it in.
Who? You?
Some.
I have no problem trusting you. You just weren't the right goddess for me.
And what of one of my lovers? What of many of my lovers?
What of them?
You must be pleasing enough to them.
Why? Why is that a requirement of me?
To fill a hole, you must first be firm, and then be gentle, and then be cautious, attentive. You must listen before you take action, and then you must move slowly, carefully. Then you'll get it the way you want it, however you want it. You can take all that you want. But first you have to get it ready.
I really wish you would talk a little bit more plain.
There are still rules that I have to follow.
Of course.
Don't let them talk you out of your goals. Do what you're here for, and go.
I will do just that.
She will slowly slink away, and as she does, you will hear a whisper in your ear. Thank you, Ra. It's great here. And yeah, you'll kind of fade back into seeing everything as it is.
Well, that was strange. Here, please take this back. I do not wish to hold this anymore right now.
Okay.
I don't mean to be frank, but I do have business to get to, and a very long travel ahead of me. About this book.
Krastron spoke to me. He said we should aid her and she can be trusted. But we cannot go with her. We have to deal with our own problems.
I mean, I thought the point was that I would go with her.
Well, he
Point
specifically
may have
said I
been-
shouldn't, but...
The point may have been, is now your superiors have knowledge of how I got here. They can use that knowledge to potentially get you out if that is what you wish.
But the monster still lives in the tunnels, correct?
No.
You killed it?
Let's just say we took each other out at the same time. I was lucky enough to be brought back, but I did succeed with help of some trusty goblins to take the creature down. Although I do believe a lot of drow do live down there, so be a little cautious, but the very dangerous creature is gone.
Well, that is good to know. I wasn't sure. I didn't know if maybe we were meant to help you kill it.
No, that was something I had to face on my way here. That is what cost me my life.
When you get the book, where will you take it?
Back. Candor, for some reason, can't come here, isn't able to, I don't know. But I know he can reach me in RA4, so that is where I will go back to.
Is that where you were trying to get away from? The city?
RA4 is the country, but there was a city. I'm blinking on its name out of character. Akunsant, there we go. A city of the name Akunsant. Very difficult to get in or out. I managed to get in for some reason. And then I became stuck there and I could not leave.
Why did you go there? What do you mean, some reason?
I know I had a reason for going there. But for some reason, I can't quite remember all of the details of why.
You mentioned Thoth. Did you make a deal with him?
I would have never willingly made a deal with Thoth if I could
Well,
help
if you
it.
did, you wouldn't remember it now, would you?
That is very true, but would you expect a heavily old-school devout follower of Sascha to willingly make a deal with Thoth?
I wouldn't. I'm just... Your lack of memory is worrying. But my God says you are to be trusted, so...
Trust me, it worries me too, and I believe remembering it may be the key to becoming who I want to become.
Specific memories of that place, or just the entire time there?
Not the entire time there. I definitely have memories of coming there. I have memories of seeking asylum from the military. And I know there was a reason, but I don't quite recall the reason anymore. I have memories of living there, of aiding some goblins, of becoming part of their house, doing things. It's like a part of why I came there is gone.
You were on the run from the military?
I believe it wasn't so much as I was on the run from the military, but that was the excuse we were using in order to get into the city, because it was a very hard city to get into, and one of the only ways was to say we were seeking asylum.
Were we? Who? You and who else?
You do notice that every time you talk about it, you do want to use the phrase we, but you only remember yourself.
I don't actually remember anyone else.
Perhaps you made an enemy of Thoth and he's stolen some of this from you to hide away. Maybe your lover, your friend. Anyway, I've made an enemy of Thoth myself. But hopefully I can one day settle it with him and maybe restore memories of people he's stolen them from. And maybe I'll end up helping you too.
Maybe. If you ever possess that power, definitely look me up, because trust me, it's very unnerving to feel like there is something missing that I can't remember, and I know it's important.
Do you...
Something on your mind, Antaeus?
Yes, but I don't know how to ask it, because there would be no way to remember the details to get the answers that I'm looking for. You said that there's portions of your memory missing?
It feels like there are. It's not like I have any large gaps in my memory. It just feels almost like there should be more to the memories I have. Like, parts of them are gone. I remember coming to the city. I remember everything since being in the city, but there's just this feeling as something has left those memories that should be there.
I've had something eerily similar happen recently, and it's concerning to say the least.
You never told us, Antaeus, you're missing memories?
Not exactly. I remember trying to speak. You remember the woman from the Sunol, the follower Sunol from the item shop, yes?
Your girlfriend?
Yes, I suppose. Well, in the sense that she's a friend and also a female. That's neither here nor there.
Yes, you're a girlfriend. Friend that is a girl.
I was trying to look into something, a memory she had. And I remember going to look at the memory, but nothing from the memory. I remember having the conversation about wanting to look at the memory. And everything between then and when we came out is just gone. And then Tehran, when he came and spoke to me, and I don't know if it's related, but the timing was surely suspicious. But
why wouldn't you tell us this earlier, Antaeus? You know we've angered Thoth, and now you're talking about missing memories. Maybe he's subtly trying to attack us already.
So, give me a knowledge religion, Gulran, as you make that statement. Something might click.
I'm fairly certain that I did mention it at some point.
And actually, Raj should probably give me the same thing.
Perhaps I did not. Maybe I mentioned,
out of character, I could be forgetting you did.
No, the two of you will realize sort of the same thing in the same moment. Thoth, so the gods have these like rules they kind of have to follow. And while Thoth can take memories, they have to sort of be given. There has to be like a willingness to turn them over, or like you maybe indirectly making a deal. This is a stolen memory. Thoth doesn't deal in theft of memories.
Well, just like I guess out of character, do we know that for sure? Because you wouldn't remember making the deal to give them away, right? So they could appear stolen.
No, there's a part of you that would remember that you gave up something.
Okay.
And in this case, they both share this feeling of like not really knowing what they've given up, not knowing that they've given something up, but knowing that they've given something up.
I think this would definitely click for Ra, because she actually did in the castle we had to get out of the castle, make a deal with Thoth to lose some of our memories. We lost the memories of I think it was Ryan's character.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that would click there.
Do you know
it's
the
like,
difference?
Yeah, like now that I'm thinking about it, I have made a deal with Thoth once. And I definitely didn't make a deal with him with whatever this is.
Is it a core tenet? Like, is it something that Thoth believes that he would want them to remember making a deal with him?
It's part of how. It's part of in sort of the legend of it. It's part of how Thoth got this whole information management thing to be acceptable to the gods, is creating this kind of loophole, like they are handing me the information, they're giving me the information.
And remembering making a deal is kind of like the receipt.
Correct.
Yes, there was one time I was certainly going to die, and Thoth came to me, and
I would have chosen death.
Yes, well, death does little to help your friends who you are hoping to help survive. I chose to give up a small piece of something in order to ensure that the people I was with had me back to them, alive and able to help them survive.
Don't be so quick to judge, Goron. I'm sure you've done many things that she would find questionable as well.
I doubt that. I live a good life.
But
Rob,
the
would you ever
point-
break into somebody's house?
That's not comparable.
Rian just standing there, taking
Yeah.
us all in.
Yep.
But, Ra, you do bring up a point. I recall now that one would remember a deal made with Thoth, and if you and Teus don't remember that, and Ra, for this part, stealing memories is not a Thoth thing, it's something else does.
Well, also,
Someone or something else is stealing our memories.
there's something
Arguably be worse than
theoretical.
Thoth.
There's something theoretical that I came across in my studies at one point about potentially weaving a spell into a memory in some way, shape, or form. So I don't know if that's the case.
Oh,
but-
you really kidding me? You're still not understanding that one yet? I'd have figured you'd
Hello?
have figured it out by now.
Oh, this is Rian?
Yes. You don't know that you can write spells into spells?
Well, I figure it's possible, but I've never personally done it, so I don't have personal first-hand experience doing it.
You create a sort of contingency effect based on when the experience is being re-experienced. We use it all the time for a number of research situations or information gathering exercises when we need to pull deeper memories from somebody. We might have someone in the memory preparing to have a spell specifically for when the memory gets re-triggered. The contingency goes off, and we can dig deeper into the subject's mind for information they would not otherwise have been willing to hand over.
Would the chair that we sat in to give our account of what happened in the forest, would that work with a stolen memory?
We could give it a try. However, I am nervous if this is a memory that has a trigger etched into the memory. We could be endangering parts of our mind to do it.
This is terrifying to realize that this is a real thing.
Which spell did you use to recall the memory?
Me?
Yes, you. Which spell did you use to recall this memory that you say you've lost?
Oh, believe.
You were using the
It was
the
just share
item.
memory. Was
Yeah,
the
Yeah,
it
it's
was
just
just
share
the item.
memory.
Yeah, that does share memory.
Oh yeah, I have it on.
So
there.
only a minute. We could impede the memory in either direction, or I could impede the memory before the share memory. Probably best that I try to take the share memory instance and go from there. The machine can see longer than what you can see. Perhaps I can win out where you can't.
Sure.
Anyway, back to your discussions. Sorry.
I don't like this idea. I don't like the thought of losing my memory.
Again,
Thanks.
Yeah, this is worrisome. What do you guys think could be actually stealing memories? Seems more devious than Thoth. At least Thoth has the honor to give you some memory and made a deal about it. This thing sounds cowardly and devious. Stealing memories.
Devious, yes.
It's
Calculated
interesting. It's interesting that this is affected Ra and Antaeus when Ra was coming here to see Antaeus and get the book.
This affected me much longer before than when I was given the task to come retrieve this book. I lived for months with the feeling that something was missing before Candor ever came to me with this task. That's partly why I took it. I was stuck in a city where I felt like there was something missing that I couldn't remember, but I couldn't recall what I can't remember, and I can't get out of the city. It was starting to drive me mad.
But Niev does bring up a good point. Do you... Starting to, you go ahead first.
Oh, no, I was just curious as to how recent you were in this Akumsan city.
Well, Rion, how long was I dead?
That's a hard question for me to ask. I know that it took us at least 2 weeks from the time we found your body to get you back.
So we can say I probably was in Akunsan somewhere around 3 weeks ago, I would guess.
I'll like kind of think back to when I spoke with her. I don't remember exactly in game how long it's been.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a long difference between these two because her experience of losing these things was months ago, technically.
Yeah.
Whereas yours was maybe a couple of months ago. Hers was months upon months ago.
Yeah, I'm just trying to build a timeline.
Yeah.
In case I find more information out.
Yep, hers definitely came first.
If it was one person, they came to you and then came here. Unless it's multiple people, which is even more concerning.
But the thing is, if this is months we're talking about, this was well before she even knew that she was coming here. So they would have had to have known that Kandor was planning on asking her, and I don't even know how far ahead he planned that, obviously.
Oh, I don't know if it's necessarily related. I'm just trying to work out whether or not it's a person or a collective of people or build some sort of like time frame in case we come across more information about this.
You don't reckon it was Tehran, do you? You said that he looked wrong.
I don't believe it was him personally, but I do believe he's related to this now, unfortunately. Speaking of which, you wanted me to go into that chair, and I'll kind of like look at Rion and give him a very, very brief like recap of what happened.
Where has he been?
The only times I've seen him recently have been my house. The first time, I don't recall him looking quite the same. He looked disheveled and distraught, and he came in searching for things. The second time, the things were scattered.
What did he find?
I don't know exactly. Everything was scattered in very similar ways.
Do you leave items behind that you carry with you to places?
Not typically, no. Not most of the time.
What about your pet? Do you
That's
leave it
very
at home?
recent. But I usually keep Najee with me for the most part. I try to, anyways.
Did you find Najee or did Najee find you?
Zigmar's. Something we were looking into. And he said that he left Najee at my house. I believe this was the last time we came back from a mission, right? This is the last time we came back.
Would you say you emotionally imprint on your dog?
What to his dog?
Emotionally imprint.
Do I have the feeling that I have had some sort of emotional imprint on them?
Emotional imprinting would be like you feel like intense frustration or sadness from a day. There's something that's really bothering you, and you kind of like you do that thing where you pick up a pet and you're like giving a lot of your emotion to the pet. You're kind of like pushing your negative emotion or whatever emotion you're having on the pet. You're imprinting your emotion on that pet.
Perhaps. I don't know for certain. To some degree, I suppose, but I tend to think that I'm typically level-headed.
I'll have some checks run.
Should we be worried?
So I'm beginning to think that with the four of you, I should be worried about everything, all the time.
True.
Well,
You
I
got
do
it.
have a task to get to. Where do we stand on this book?
Oh, yes. I'll go to hand over the book unless anybody has any more objections.
Do you think maybe you should stay for a few days to see if we can figure out? I feel like Niev was onto something. I feel like there's a connection between you and Antaeus somehow. Maybe it would do well for you to figure that out before you leave.
You all know my name. You have the abilities to use magic and contact me.
Not if you go back to your other country. I think our spells don't work across the borders.
And scrying is illegal here.
As soon as he says that, I'm gonna look over to Rian to see if
I already
There's
know
any-
what you know how to do. You don't have to look at me like that, and I already know that it works.
well then, I suppose that
Hey, you've been running around telling people about it, have you?
not outside of this circle for the most part, no.
You're sure? You tend to have water mouth from time to time.
It's not a lot of people. I don't associate with many people outside of this. I'll try to think back and
Not that you can recall.
probably not. I'll let you know if I
I'll have that
remember.
looked into.
Well,
Either way, from here on forward, you don't speak of it again. You can't do it. You understand?
well, should I?
It doesn't exist. Here, you can. She doesn't come from here.
Okay. So don't do it. Sorry, everything's a little frazzled.
You can talk about the things that you can do with her. She's not from here. She's leaving. We will escort her out.
Yes, well, dream, effectively. I'm assuming you're aware of it. Yes, no, maybe so.
Yes, I'm aware
okay.
of most magic.
Okay, good. Well, it appears that works outside of this country to some degree. Well,
Great, so if there are any connections you make, or if there is any headway on this memory chair you spoke of, you have a way to contact me.
yes.
Perfect.
Wonderful.
That is
Now,
all.
pass him the book so I can get back to work. Or
Correct.
pass her the book so I can get back to work.
Hands the book over.
Wait. That is a copy of the book. It is not the original book. We are
I'm
on
gonna
the
look at
astral
it.
plane.
Yes.
It makes duplicates.
Yes.
You will need to hand the book to Gul'ran and have Gul'ran bring it in.
On the material plane.
Yes.
Yes. Of course.
We're all understood?
Yes, sir.
And you
Yes.
plan to follow through with this?
Yes.
And good night, everyone. Thanks for watching.